Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel. And in this one, it is my absolute pleasure to present an S+ build for RENGAR that makes him not suck. As right, continually remove bushes with every new dragon they bring. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a naked map at level 1, just to spite RENGAR at some point. First Strike is delivering on the goods. By that I mean, win rate above 50%. And if you watch the companion video for this on the main channel, we talked about a lot of First Strike uses and abuses, and also why the rune is so damn good. So if you want a full in-depth breakdown on that, good 50-minute spiel about all those things and which champions also work, go to that one. But for this video, I want to show you how the rune gives RENGAR a bit of spice, a bit of attitude, and an ability to navigate through this arduous time for him. Obviously, that rework will be coming forth shortly, although that's a shortly with a TM, because at this point, probably 2025. You would have seen the runes on your screen. Absolutely standard stuff. You can, of course, go Relentless. You can, of course, go Ultimate. Those are probably more standard things that you would run. In the meantime, I looked at a couple of games. Which ones could I use for this video? And there were so many games where he popped off and the enemy jungler was, a human being, so it was a nice battle. His teammates were incompetent. His teammates were competent. And in the end, I realized it doesn't matter. We just need to showcase the build and what it can do. Now, in this game, he will do by far the most damage. He will be the solo carry, and he will have the highest kill count by far. So keep that in mind as he goes through the early game. Pussypoo is obviously the subject for this video, has his own stream. I will slap that below. Good German RENGAR technician has brought forth a lot of popularity to this build, as I almost fumbled saying that, or maybe I did fumble saying it. It's been a long day. Nevertheless, welcome to 2022, hopefully the year of the cat. Now, in this situation, what you're seeing a lot of junglers do, as we've seen in a lot of recent gameplays, is you will go for your standard red Raptors grub into some gank action or an invade action. You've seen a lot of delayed invades into buffs, and of course RENGAR loves to do delayed invades as well. In this situation, if you know the enemy jungler starts in red, it's unlikely as a Kha'Zix that he's going to do a full clear. However, there are a lot of junglers that can be doing full clears. RENGAR, on the other hand, classic 5 camp at this stage. Obviously, we had to go leashless, and now we've warded the Krugs to commit the leap of stoning, which we do, and apparently I wasn't clicked on him. So now, when you do this, what is the game plan? And if you're playing RENGAR and you're not invading, so there's another game where he did blue solo as well. You get the double stacks pre, you do this, you do this, you do either red or something, and full camp invade. There's a whole bunch of things you can do. But if you're a full camp clearer, and you get level 4, you have to look at top lane. Okay, she TPs in Gwen, but the wave is not in a state for us to actually be fighting this. So in this situation, you have to anticipate, always have to anticipate that a Kha'Zix is going to do a 5 camp at the very least, and he's going to look to go on the river now. Level 4 versus level 3 in that situation is always good for us, right? So we try, we flash, we get bonked by the Mordekaiser. Unfortunately, the TP by the Gwen is not enough because of the wave. The Gwen is able to turn it around and get doubles. So in the end, this isn't so bad for our team. It's not so great for us, but it's not so bad for our team. Now, because the Kha'Zix would do the 5 camp and take that crab, we know straight up by looking at a CS, and if he gets her to match us after full clear, that he didn't do Krugs and he did the top crab. No reason to stick around and go to the top side. If you do go to the top side in this case, you are straight up griefing. Please do not do that. We have here a pushing bottom lane who have, by logical pressing of the tab button to see, hey, look, they haven't gone back to base. Don't flirt with your Gromp. Don't flirt with the crab. Kha'Zix is coming down to the bottom side. We have a serrated Dirk of, well, Nowitzki, and now we can go and crash this and kill them. Absolute disgusting disrespect by the blue team's bottom lane. RENGAR is going to use the buttons. He has the empowered ability there, hits it onto the rock, which is obviously always what you want to do, but the Kha'Zix shows up. Now, you're going to say, hold on a second. Why did we go for that play? Going for that play there is absolutely the standard thing to do. If you're tracking the Kha'Zix though, and you know he did that 5 camp plus the crab, and you know he obviously dies, he's also going to contest this. So it's always good in this situation to hit this plant to see what's going on, maybe even to snag this first. However, you do technically want to go and try and get these kills, but you have to be very measured in how far you push it to get those kills. And the Kha'Zix simply did a good job of rotating, taking the crab, and then of course, counter ganking and counter killing. So, now you're wondering, hold on a second. Okay, good job there, Galio. Now you're wondering, hold on a second, how the hell do we actually get this build to pop off when we've had such a bad beginning? Well, firstly, we click on it and we see, 18 gold gained and 13 damage dealt bonus. And you pull funny faces at that, thinking, boy, right. This is where a build really gets tested. Now, when I did my Volleyball tech, that I made a video about last month or the month before, and I showed you that also struggles a little bit when you don't get ahead. And that's always something that's very useful when talking about snowballing builds and watching games where you get ahead and can just turbo stomp people. But when you have a bad beginning like this, it's nice to see builds get tested to the limit a little bit. So after that, there's no real reason to do anything else other than to do your Gromp, to do your Wolves, to do your second tier Raptors. Now we can float into the river, go do some probing. If you are a good Rengar player, you are not doing the Krugs right here. You are not sort of absolutely chilling and looking at lanes and standing in bushes. You need to go into the jungle. You need to get your Bone Tooth stacked, even more so, because we have lost a few things. Hello, Kha'Zix. Die. Why did he make that play? Because we know straight up that the Kha'Zix, after he does a 5-camp clear, takes crab, dies, goes bottom lane, takes this crab and gangs, he's got a full sequence upside. Which means, if he hasn't shown in that full duration, we as Rengar can do some camps, cut it short, invade him while he's on that, kill him and get 6. It's a very good aggressive play, and all Rengar players, if you do not invade at least a few times, you know, in this early game, you are not playing the game properly. This is excellent. Why is this excellent as well? Because we got 6 from this. Top lane is not 6. Gwen got huge from that early skirmish. Let's snowball that lane. Let's snowball ourselves. And always a Mordekaiser, always a Shen. Anything with a game-changing ultimate. If you get 6 early as Rengar, please use it on them, especially if they have no flash, no TP. It's an absolute free kill for you. Now, we do have a lot of gold in pocket, and we've got a long way to go in this game. Oh, why? It's worth noting that this player is multi-seasonal challenger Rengar player, and this is a Master Tier game. So, yeah. You know, this awareness, you know, bottom lane just doesn't think about the Rengar going straight to the lane, and the Ryze doesn't think, hey, you know, Rengar was top lane, is a crab top lane. No, he just piles into the bush and gives you freebies. So basically, if you are not getting fed as Rengar, or you're falling behind and you're struggling to get back into the game, it's on you. There are definitely windows for that. Now, let's have a look again. Let's keep monitoring this as we go. All of a sudden, 212 extra gold. I talked about the values in the main channel video, about how much damage you can expect to do, how much gold you can expect to get. The example I gave in that game was a 20+ kill Canyon game where he had 1600 damage and 1600 gold extra. I don't need to tell you that's a needlessly large rod, plus a longsword. So, it's a lot of damage. Now, bottom lane, what are we doing? Okay, Kha'Zix is actually ganking at 4-2-1. That's to be expected. And now, if the Kha'Zix was in a lower elo game, a lower diamond game, a mid elo game, whatever, it doesn't matter. If he was topside for some reason, if he was walking over the Herald there and there was still a 2v2 bottom lane, you can just rotate down now. Make sure you do some camps until your ultimate is up, and then go down with your ultimate. That's exactly what you're looking to do. So in this situation, they're both low. Soraka has no mana. We have ultimate available. Go for the healer. Make sure she dies. Excellent choice. Go into the vein. Use your flash. Die. I just wanted to show that again from a mechanical point of view. We didn't talk about it a lot in these videos. Obviously, we're talking about jungling. But, you know, doing your camp there and dragging it into the lane is so important because now you can go for double Q, triple Q combos and so on. In this situation, you're just looking to try and maximize your triple Q. We have fully empowered stacks. You activate it before you arrive. And now basically you're just going to yeet all your buttons on her face, Ryan Choi style. You use your E, you use your W. You can see the Q animations coming through here again twice. You would have seen that. One more order to kill. Move into the bush now. Okay, we're looking at our cooldowns. It's almost up. We want to wait until we have Q up before we flash so we can Q, auto Q, and then auto again, and she dies. So make sure when you're playing like this that you understand the importance of dragging your camp so that you can get, we can look at it in real time, so you can get those triple Q opportunities with a full stack of Ferocity. And obviously, as I said here, wait for your Q to be up, and then you can auto Q, auto again, and she dies. It's really that easy, ladies and gentlemen. It just means that you have to be a bit more proactive with your thoughts about how you go around sequencing and how you go around using your ultimate. And Rengar very heavily is tied to using your ultimate, stacking all of your domination stacks, and stacking your Bone Tooth. And by that, we can check 4 kills, 16% bonus. We want that 25. That's huge, by the way. That's why a lot of Rengars love to go for those those late invades, because if you can get 1 and 2 kills, the early game becomes so easy for you to navigate in terms of fighting. You just fight everyone, do whatever you want. But in this situation, things didn't go well early. Obviously, you know, top fight was a little bit our fault, although it worked out. And the bottom fight was just, you know, I disrespect you, Kha'Zix, which obviously you can understand as a perennial challenger jungler. And then he still realized that the Kha'Zix was going to sequence, and then took him out. Once you've done this, and you see this is what I talk about quite a lot in my videos, you know, you come at a base. Is bot lane gankable? Is my ultimate up? In this situation, no, they died. Kha'Zix ganked it. I don't have my ultimate, so there's no real need for me to do that. But once that shows up as an option, you do your blue, your ult shows, they overstay, they have no mana, you gank it, and then you can reward yourself with camps. Now, obviously, Kha'Zix in this situation took the dragon. We weren't really focused on that, but that's a good return to dying on your Grump. You know, you die on your Grump, you know, Rengar's ulting top lane, you can go ahead and take an objective, so that's great. Because we had that ultimate use bottom lane, and then we reward ourselves with a nice full sequence, our ultimate is once more available. You can look to use the top lane. You kind of need to think about where the Kha'Zix might be. We press the button, Kha'Zix is there on the Herald, obviously you get notification of that, and now you can decide, do you want to take the fight or do you not want to take the fight? And Rengar ultimates can be used for probing. Here we go. Twisted Fate mid lane. Tower diving, nah, it ran out. Ooh, that's unlucky, and now we use our flash bottom lane, and there's the wave. So, yellow carded, Soraka ult, great, thanks very much. We know Kha'Zix is somewhat in the area, so we do want to be a little bit cautious. So we cut through here, that's a good decision. And he's actually, he checked out, which makes sense, you know. Use the Herald, go back to base, but at the same time, show a bit of respect to it. You know, you don't know 100% that he's gone back to base. You don't know if he's shadowing. You don't know what wards they have and so on. Now, because you see that he was level 7 to level 9, he finally gets level 8. Don't do it, Kha'Zix. Don't do it, man. Bot has Prio. Rengar is Duskblade completed. Yes, you have a bit of advantage in terms of your longsword, but he has 16% bonus attack damage, so you don't really want to take that fight, I feel. Now, their bot lane roams. So these are the great plays. A lot of times people are going to say, well, I'm Rengar, I invade and my team don't rotate. The enemy team does. Well, you have to recognize that and then leave. But now you force their bottom lane to rotate, spend time investing trying to stop you. Now at this point we know Kha'Zix was around this area, we know there's a dragon spawning. If bot lane wants to reset and they have a lot of gold in pocket, you can basically you can give her the dragon, but I like this. We know Kha'Zix is in the area, we kind of want to set up a counter gank, we kind of want to perhaps try and do something to stymie their bottom lane a bit. But if you get detected on a ward, I kind of like this though. This is good, because you know Kha'Zix is here. You see this? You know Kha'Zix is here. They saw you on the ward as you were clearing it. Is Rengar still in the bush, or is Rengar resetting? Now at this point, he's been on the field quite a long time, and that's where pressing tab comes in huge. You know, if you see Rengar bottom lane with the Duskblade, and then you see him top lane with the Duskblade, and then you see him bot lane again with the Duskblade, you know he hasn't spent his gold. So it's likely he's going back to base. And here they show a bit of respect to the bush, and we do in fact reset. Warhammer, Sheen. That's right. This is a full crit build. Essence Reaver, Lord Dominic's. You can, there's a collector in some places, but I'm not really a huge fan of that. And then obviously Infinity Edge. And the damage is insane. You will see. I mean, you can see you can see from the timeline. You're gonna have to give up the dragon there, but we go straight to it to try and force a fight because we do have itemization advantage. Through exhaust, we are not able to kill them. Now we're watching in the edge, him kind of floating the edge of the fight. I shouldn't really do that. Rengar actually ends up collapsing in here. Kaiser does a good job. Use the bush jump. Yep, that's fine. We have the Mordekaiser as well. Hippity hoppity. Can't see him. You just wait, and you wait, and Mordekaiser, I don't know if this is intentional, but drifts away from the bush so Rengar can't jump into it, but it's fine. Gwen's able to snip, snip, snip. That was quite a messy fight, to be honest with you, but we come out ahead. I think the most important thing about that fight there is that once you yeet in, okay, and you saw the damage on the Soraka, don't feel like you have to stay in. You can simply wait out the exhaust, you can ditch, let them use their spells, let the fight develop a bit, and then re-enter. And as an assassin, that's really, really huge. It's okay if their enemy team blows their load all over the rest of your team, as long as you clean it up. Although, if you take what I just said and apply it to a different industry, then it doesn't work as well, but for assassins in League of Legends, that's great. Now, we do have Hex Tech. We noticed we were going top side. At this point, there's 2 camps, there's a red spawning, but at the same time, we've got 3 camps down here. We have a Syndra, there's a bit of a lane swap. Might as well secure our camps, and we can look to maybe do something. Here's a plant that gets hit. Alright, so just keep your eyes open at this point. And now you look at this, you see this? This is where Rengar needs to, again, eyes up. Herald has been summoned, so we know that the Kha'Zix was the one who most likely hit that plant. We have Gwen top, we have Twisted Fate mid lane. Blue Grump Wolves to keep that sequencing nice. And now, you know that the Herald is coming. Vayne and Soraka bottom lane. We have our ultimate available. We see Twisted Fate there. So now cut. Cut into the Twisted Fate. It's kind of obvious. You know Kha'Zix is showing up, but as soon as you see Twisted Fate, don't vacuum your eyesight into the bottom lane. You know? Can you 2v3? Can you 1v3 at this point? Maybe, maybe not, but most likely not. So just kill the one-on-one, that's very easy. And now use your scanners, get deep into their jungle, and look for some pickage. Although, don't int for it. But at this point, you're huge. I mean, you've got Essence Reaver and Duskblade completed. You're kind of just looking for traps. You see, I'm staring down a lot now. It's because I have so many games of Rengar, I like to, and I can't really F-key, I like to stare at the map and just look for the opportunities for picks. This is a nice TP from the Syndra, and again, now we can cut the wave. Vayne has no exhaust, but she will have flash. The patience blue team, see, that's what you're looking for. Where's blue team? They're just waiting, and oof. Okay. That's it, that's the moment right there. It's a lot of Syndra damage, but it's a lot of Rengar damage. Let's check in, ladies and gentlemen. We now have 700 damage dealt and 700 gold out. So the one-to-one parity actually seems quite consistent, relatively, anecdotally, should I say, from a lot of the videos that I've been looking at, films that I've been looking at. So that's really, really good to know. Now, we need to step it up another level, and we kind of need to make sure we're starting to get objectives. Use the Hextech Gates to your advantage. We just took blue side. There's no camps up. There's no reason to go there. Second Herald is spawning. Go and take your red buff if Master Chief. Been playing way too much Halo. There you go. If the Mordekaiser, it's a man in armor, so I don't know, my brain made a connection, I apologize. If he's splitting there, at this point, there should be no one you are not comfortable absolutely dominating. And what I loved about this game in particular is how unassuming that experience advantage is. I mean, look at we're level 12 to level 9. We died twice early, honestly, through a little bit aggro and a little bit of greed and a little bit of disrespect. That's fine because you know how to recover from it, and that's always the biggest thing. How do you recover from your own mistakes without blaming your teammates? Because so many times Rengar players will be 0-2-0 and then just lose. And I never understand it. You're Rengar guys. Your first strike. And Futures Market. Cosmic Insight and free boots. You know, you get so much utility in terms of gold. All you need is a little bit of a drop here and there, and off you go. You're just ahead in itemization that they cannot match it. Obviously now we're going into Lil Dominic's. We see here there's a dragon spawning, so the kill, the fallback, red, kill, take out camps, nice sequence as well, Krugs into Raptors. Our team is forcing a fight here, a little too soon for the dragon for my taste. But the Gwen is absolutely huge, so in this situation, if your team can do this, and honestly this does happen, so we've looked recently at a lot of close games where our laners were really inept, and honestly, it's fun to always complain in chat and always complain on Reddit and always complain in YouTube comments that your team always ends. It just isn't true. Oh, look, you stepped out of base. I don't think I allowed that. Die. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a champion I can play all day, every day. Now they can do the dragon. So this is something that's simultaneously important to note. If your team is behind and they're incompetent and they have no one else fed and they're posturing over that dragon fight, and you choose to go for the Herald, make sure you take it, but then rotate to the fight as soon as you can. If your team all dies, you can still make this same play. The whole point is you either offset something that the enemy team is getting, or you add to it if your team is doing a good job. This is standard assassin stuff. Wait in the bush. We check the cooldown, 14 seconds, there you go. That's exactly right. Soraka's pushing mid lane. Okay, is it too long to wait? I mean, do we need anything else? Do we need any other itemization spikes to kill people? No, we do not. Patience is important, and that's why you always see me staring at with the Rengar gameplay. See? See? I'm not even looking at the Kha'Zix, I'm just trying to talk about Rengar. Kha'Zix doing the same thing. Dead. Galio ulted. Okay, we do have 7 seconds on it, and we die. So, that's what happens sometimes when you yeet in, but I think the damage is done. The dead Soraka is the most important thing there. Kai'Sa, careful. Oh, we got yeeted. Yeah. Yeah. This is probably a bit more reminiscent of your mid games, is it not? That was a close W. Still got the Kha'Zix though. This guy's not having a good time. He had a really good early game. He should have been able to do something with it. The Syndra just dies a little bit out of position. Don't know why. And we're able to at least get something, but when they clump like that, you will die sometime. You will die sometimes. The most important thing for you is to try and minimize when that happens as much as possible. Why are you splitting by yourself against a Rengar and a Gwen and a Gallet? That was satisfying. That was very satisfying. Early game, 0-2-0, doesn't matter. Just reach your itemization spikes. And that's also another note. People always like to say, well, the Rengar is 8 and 12, or like 5 and 6. What's going on here? Why is he one-shotting me? It's like, well, it's not, the KDA doesn't indicate anything. It just indicates a state of how you're playing the game. But you could have a 35-minute game and the Rengar's managed to get 15k gold. It doesn't matter what his KDA was to get to 15k gold. He reached it, which means he has items as if, you know, he was fed. It doesn't really matter what his KDA is when he gets to a certain gold threshold. Difference is when you're fed early, it's a lot more hilarious, right? But if you're a Soraka, the Rengar gets these 3 items, you're gonna die. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. Kha'Zix, how are you? Okay. You see, the target swap is what's most important for a lot of Rengar players. You guys gotta swap targets. You cannot always laser focus on the thing that you want to deep dive. If someone just swaps in front of you, like here, multiple times, just kill them. Gonna wait for our team. I think that's fine because bounties are active at this stage. We have started to snowball it quite nicely. A really good look, though, at how to use picks into towers. Picks into towers, picks into heralds, picks into farming. Whole bunch of advantages. Okay. Well, you know, we tried the flash bush jump, but it's okay. Remember back in Season 4. That was just so cool the first time you did it, you know? Learning Rengar for the first time, new to League, and you do the flash bush jump. It's always very fun. Now it's just like an insect. Everyone does it. Ultimate up again. This is why I kind of like Ultimate Hunter a lot on this build path with the Talons, with the Kianas, with the Echoes, with the Rengars. You can go whatever you like, right? I mean, like Kha'Zix, the first strike page will usually go Ravenous, same with Echo. Relentless is always good on Rengar also. But the Ultimate Hunter being up so much while you're getting a lot of itemization ahead, no one's complaining. I think in the Chem Tank Dragon, I mean, if you knew in Champion Select, you could change it, right? That's what's important here. You could change it. Right. Duskblade, Eclipse also, as you wish. Mostly Duskblade though, that we're seeing from people, but you can go either or. Second Dragon for us, yeah, we're stacking this at this stage. Very important to get this. The team is kind of grouping up now, which is very nice. But you can see a lot of the kills, you know, your team are around. Your team are around, but you're just one-shotting people so quickly. So it can kind of distort statistics as well. Oh, Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix is mad. What's funny is that that 2v2 top lane looked bad for Rengar and ended up so good for Gwen. Almost won the game, basically. Which is why you can take those fights. But with good players. Please don't take those fights and die. Happens way too much. Ult for a zoning tool. I love this into bases. When you go deep, there we go. We get stunned and we die. There's no EDU tip on that. That's just what you do. This is the way of Rengar. I'm sorry. Everyone knows this. You probe with it. You kill someone. Usually, one of these. Actually, just any one. Mostly Soraka though. If you can get to Soraka, try and kill Soraka. But if you can kill Twisted Fate, that works as well. Okay, now we're dead. 14-4-6. Let's turbo speed this up. Hextech into the Raptors. Again, we're missing a whole bunch of action. I don't know why they're all face checking into this, but please, too many times, I will see these moments where your team kind of overstays and dies, like this, and the Rengar is busy. Nice Ebola through the wall into an auto Q. It's the way it's done. Use that route intelligently. So this is a game-winning play, right? Your team is in a position where they die. They're only in the position where they die because you died. You yeeted and died. Now they're hanging around and they get caught out and they also die, giving shutdowns, giving access to bounties, yada yada yada. You as Rengar will now spawn. Now, if you go to the wrong side of the map, right, to where that action isn't happening, you will not be able to rotate. Your team will die, and what will happen from that I love Rengar. What will happen from that is your team wipes and now you're stalling the game way too much. So make sure in those situations, if you do enjoy a little bit of tower yeet, when you respawn, get to the fight, clean it up. Actually, you probably don't even need to clean it up. You can just kill everyone anyway. That's how it be. Kai'Sa's now taking our camps, which at this point is fine. I'm not this kind of Kai'Sa enjoyer. I've always liked 3 evolved Kai'Sa builds. So like Crown and Manamoon and Nash's are my go-to. Use your ult for probing once more. Pretty low cooldown already at this stage. We went for Merc Treads instead. IE is complete, Collector's complete. I love it. I love it. It's so good. You know, whatever allows me to get to itemization spikes faster when I'm struggling to get innately fed in certain metas, I'm a fan of. And the whole thing about Predator, for a lot of champions that were running Predator, was that they... Okay. We're just rinsing it now. Was that they didn't really need the damage to kill people, so they took Predator as a utility rune just to aid and boost one aspect of their jungling. First Strike is doing the same thing for Assassins, you know? Don't need the damage to kill people. The damage in this game is way too high, the damage from Mythics and itemization is way too high, which means we don't really need it in our Keystone. So as long as we can get ahead in some capacity, in this case, we're looking at 2,400 damage and 2,400 gold gained. That is significantly more than Kenyon's game, which was obviously a much closer challenger game in Korea, so it was a bit more reserved, and now we're just kind of giga smurfing on them. But it gives you a good indication that the damage is still meaningful. It's not like Predator, we'd have low damage and good speed boosts and so on. You're getting a lot of damage from this, and you're getting a lot of gold from it as well. Man, that's a huge amount of gold. Kai'Sa just desperately trying to get an assist. I mean, we're full build. We're full build with 20k gold. You know, you'd be 17.5 at this point. Well, there you go. Not a lot to talk about in the end phase, and I think with a good Rengar player, there should not be a lot of new ones to talk about in the end phase. Make your picks, set your traps, clean up kills, rotate to team fights, use your ult as a probe, and then go in. If you're a Rengar that gets this fed and you lose, you're picking the wrong moments to go in. But hopefully you enjoyed and learned something. Hopefully you test this build up for yourself. Try Eclipse, try Duskblade, but that's basically the full goal there. Thank you very much for watching. Like, share, and comment and all that good stuff. You have nothing else to say. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial.